Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. It's been a fantastic week. Over the last couple of days, we've had some good setups, good trades that we've executed. We're going to be going through the trade setups shortly. We also have some high probable trade setups in the coming week. Look out for a trade setup, trade of the week. We've got a very good trade setup for the next week. Now, before we get started, before you rush off to your favorite pairs, check out our contact details on the description of all the YouTube videos. You can join us on Telegram. We've got a free Telegram channel where we post up the links for the live webinar. If you'd like to attend the webinar live, you can join us on Telegram. You can also subscribe to our website. Our website is elliottwaveprinciple.com. So elliottwave-principle.com, rather, elliottwave-principle.com. You can find out more detail about our services there. All right, so back to the description. We've also launched our new social media pages. That is our Twitter. You can follow us on our new Twitter profile, like our page on Facebook. Now, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, share, and hit that notification button so you can get a notification next time we post a video. You'll see this on the last video. We've got some timestamps here. So if you're interested only on specific pairs, you can go straight onto the timestamps. This will be uploaded as soon as the web video is processed. Okay, so our next course starts from the 3rd of August. This is a 10-day course scheduled from the 3rd to the 13th of August, runs from 1800 to about 22:30 GMT, Mondays to Friday. But you can get the course, pre-recorded course on our website. Check out our website for the pre-recorded course as well as the course content. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start with trade recaps. As we're going through the trade recaps, I'm going to talk about something that is more of a challenge to traders, even more than entries, and that is when to hold a trade. Let's start with pound yen. Pound yen. I'm going to give an example with pound yen before we go to trade setups. Let's go through to pound yen. So pound yen, I showed you this 715 pip trade last week. Now this trade did not go all the way to target. This trade missed the target by about 100 pips. You can refer to last week's webinar. Now, how do you then decide to exit? Because when you entered the trade here, you forecasted about 800 pips, but we got out for 600. And that is what is so challenging for most traders, and I can relate, right? So you take a trade and you don't know when to exit. You take a trade, you forecasted 50 pips, you're up 40. Do you exit? Do you take profits, or do you keep holding? So that is what we're going to be talking about as we're going through the trade setups. Now let's start with trade setups. This is what we've been busy with in the week. Let's start with trade recaps. Let's have a look here. So this is our channel. These are all the setups that we've posted in our channel. So all our members have got access to this prior to the moves. So every single one of these trades that I'm going to be going through here have been shared with our members before they happened. Now let's start with the cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies, we're going to have a webinar shortly after this. So watch out for the Crypto Corner webinar. We're going to be discussing this in detail. So here I'm just going to go through the trade setups. Look at Ripple. So Ripple, we're looking for this one to drop. Ripple is now just a few pips from target. As you can see, we're looking for this structure on Ripple, a 3-wave structure, and then a drop has played out inch perfect. Now that is Ripple. As you can see, a few pips, just a few points now before target. Do we hold? Do we get out? Do you take profits here? Then that is something that we need to decide. So the indicator that we use tells us when to exit the trade. Remember, when we took the trade, watch here, we forecasted that this was going to be our target. We are already a few pips from target. Now the question is, do you hold or do you sell? Do you take profits from there? Bitcoin, from the moment it was at around 10,000, around 10,600 here, and we see here I've been forecasting the cryptocurrencies for downside. Not one point, not any time in the last couple of weeks did we think that the cryptocurrencies are going to rally. We've been forecasting pullbacks on the cryptocurrencies. This is Bitcoin. Look, focusing the drop. Where are we now? This is last week. Last week we were here, and some traders were still expecting that this was going to rally from there. but our indicator tells us that this is not time yet. We're expecting a push to the upside and continuation to the downside. That is what we discussed in our crypto corner last week. Where is Bitcoin now? This is the latest setup on Friday. This was Thursday rather, or Wednesday. So this is the latest setup on Bitcoin. We expected the continuation to the downside, and we got the continuation to the downside. As you can see, we're still looking for this to continue lower. We're not anywhere here. That was a new setup. So you can see two new setups on Bitcoin. If you look at Ethereum, we didn't just focus this move currently here. We focused the move from here. We said it's going to come up here and it's going to come drop, because the structure that we were looking for was this one in red. Follow the WXY structure in red. That was Ethereum. How is Ethereum playing out now? It's broken out of that flag, and we're expecting continuation to the downside. Okay, so timing of the market is absolutely critical. That is Ethereum. Litecoin, the same. And so we didn't get the after chart here on Litecoin. That is the after chart. So a textbook triangle on Litecoin. Let me just go back one so you can see the setup. So this was Litecoin. Initially, we were looking at this only as a three-wave structure, but after the break, we could see that it was actually a perfect triangle there, and that is how this one is played out. Got a triangle in the X wave there. We're dropping, and the structure we're looking for is this one here. We're going to discuss more of that on the Crypto Corner webinar. Look out for that. That is Litecoin. Pound Chief. Pound Chief, I showed you this trade last week. Look at where the forecast was. We were looking at this one to drop from 21.93. This was a exact entry. We're looking for this one to drop. This one has already come about 360 pips. Let's have a look at how this one has played out. So it's an amazing trade on Pound Chief. So this is how it played out. As you can see, a 360 pip drop from here. We're still expecting it to continue to the downside. We have not seen any indications of reversal, so we're going to be looking at that. Pound CAD, this was our entry. It drops 330 pips the week before. Last week during the webinar, we were at about 240 pip. We're up 240 pips, so we had this one here. And there was no point during our live sessions where we thought that this was going to make a move to the upside. We were looking at this as simply a corrective structure, and you see now this is dropping. We're still expecting continuation to the downside. That is Pound CAD. Pound AUD, this is the latest new setup on Pound CAD. We've entered here. As you can see, this was the entry here on Pound Pound AUD, and we are already 238 points up. We're still expecting continuation to the downside. Now, this is an interesting one on Pound AUD because it has broken out of the major structure out of the 2-year corrective structure. Now, we may be getting a big move to the downside here. As you can see, the focus is still over 800 pips here, over 800 pips to the downside on Pound AUD, right? Now, this one was set. This is up Euro Pound. So Euro Pound, we got an entry here. And sadly, Euro Pound went and hit our stop loss just by 1 point here. You can see it hits a stop and then makes a move to the upside. Now, the only time you're going to get a trade wrong is when you don't time the market correctly. The direction is still all right, but we got out there, hit our stop, and we are going to look for a new entry for upside here. As you can see, we're focusing pound pace downside, so Euro Pound should push higher. Pound US dollar, now this is the magic. Now this is something that our indicator won't tell you. That's why you need to combine the indicator with the sequence and the Elliott Wave strategy. Now look at this, we focused a move to the upside and a drop. Now if you can see here, this pinpointed right here at this point, this is the setup that we had. We're looking for this one to move up and then drop. We moved 200 points up and we've already dropped 150 points to the downside. Now this is the trade that we're looking for. The 200 points, we're not trading, we're trading to the downside. Now that is the magic. Look at the magic. How do we get that? How do we get that pinpointed from here to there? All the pips pinpointed, and now we're looking for this move to the downside. That is where the magic happens, and that is how you identify structures and time the market. Silver, this is an amazing trade. We still went up 200 pips. We're still expecting continuation to the upside on silver. I'll show you why we're expecting continuation to the upside. But silver is not the best trade. The best one will be gold. We're going to be showing you gold. Let me just go back one here on silver. So this was a trade setup on silver. We took this one at 1550. We are currently at about 1750 on silver. We're looking for continuation to the upside. So about 200 points up on silver. We're still holding silver for upside. Okay, like I said, the trade setup that we're looking at here will be for gold. A new one will be for gold. So this is now Brent crude oil, 1,000 pips, 1,100 pips to the upside from 29 to 42, crashes the target and pulls back exactly where we forecasted. This is how Brent crude has played out. We've got some latest setups on the channel, on our website, which you will see here. Crashes the target, retest again the target, and now we're dropping to the downside. We'll be looking for this one to do this. Okay, so that is Brent crude oil, pound New Zealand, already 240 pips down here. This is our entry here. Look at how this one is playing out. It's already dropped here. So you can see here, this is an entry. Now, this is where most traders experience challenges. When you see something like this, you think the trade is against you, you exit, but we hold the trades, okay, because we can see when we are on the right side. Now, this is a short-term trade, so it's not we're up 62 pips on CADCHF. Let me just go right to CADCHF, exited there. So this CADCHF, so you can see here, the next move here is downside. We are up already 62 pips. This one is going pretty slowly. We don't really like this trade. So at this point here, we may be taking some profits or moving to break even because this can push up higher and then drop. Okay, so those are trade setups. That's what we've been busy with in the week. So let's run through the rest of the market. We'll start with the major pairs. Let's look at the DXY. Now, the DXY and the Euro have got very interesting structures. Now, if you look at the structures, if I just switch off here, DXY and the Euro have got very easy structures. We are looking at this one as a 1, 2, 3 here. Now, the question is this move complete? This move that started the move to the upside here, is this the one that is now starting to the upside? What we're seeing here is that we've got a move up here. We've got a corrective structure. This one is going to go slightly up to slightly to the upside. We may have this one as a wave 4 for one more down before we make a move to the upside. Rather, that's the move to the upside will be a red one like this. So we're looking for this one to go like that. So we've got a pulsing move here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got what looks like a triangle here, and we've got 1, 2, 3. Is this a 4 and a 5 that has ended here and it's going to go make a move to the upside, or is this the 4? This could be the 4, and then we get the 5. So we can have 1, 2, 3, 4. We get the 5, and then a move to the upside. So these 5 may come and retest the low here before we push to the upside. The move currently is not convincing, although we're going to be taking this one short term to the upside, just a bit to the upside here, where we're going to be looking for this zigzag here, and then we're going to look for this one to come retest the low here before it makes a move to the upside. If it continues to the upside, we will be able to manage that. Euro is the inverse of the DXY. As you can see, same structure on the 4-hour. We've got this pulsing move here as well. This Euro, a pulsing move on the Euro, and then you've got this corrective structure here. Let's show the corrective structure here. We've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3. Again, on the Euro, it's tricky here. You cannot see this with the naked eye. 1, 2. Is this a 5 that has completed, and are we ready to make a move to the downside, or the current move is a wave 4? So the move that you're looking for is this one. Okay, is this a wave 4? If this is a wave 4, that means you're going to have something like this. That means you're going to have this one as a 1, as a 2 here, as a 3. And then you get the last wave 5 that tests the top like the DXY, and then after that we'll look for this one to resume the move to the downside like that. So the question is whether we've started this here or we're still going to have one more down before we get that downside. So we need to watch that. For now, we can see clearly that we're going to have a short term to the upside. We're going to look at that entry. So if we get a setup for entry, if we get confirmation based on your strategy, we've got a strategy that will tell us when to get in here. Then you need to take the trade because this may go all the way. Okay, so we need to watch out for that. Right, so let's run through the rest. We've already seen pound US dollar. Pound US dollar, we are looking for continuation to the downside here. Look for continuation to the downside. I've already shown you we are looking at this corrective structure on pound that looks like a zigzag, and we're coming down in 3 waves. This is 3 waves down here. This was a pullback. We're looking for another 3 waves down here. So another pullback here on pound will be this. So if we get another pullback, we'll be looking for that. So you're going to have a WXY structure, double combination, and we'll be looking for that one to do that. So we're still looking for continuation to the downside on pound US dollar. Okay, so US dollar chief. Now let me go to the website so you can get an idea of how we look at the charts and what our members get here. So this is our website. I'm going to go to the US dollar pairs so you can see. Let's start with US dollar chief. I want to show you how we forecast and how you can benefit from this. And now this is US dollar pairs. Let's look at US dollar chief. Let's look at US dollar chief on the 1 hour. Let's have a look here. Now, US dollar chief on the 1 hour, you can see that we have a move here. This was posted on the 21st of June. We got this move here. We're focusing that we're going to drop here and we're going to make a move to the upside. Okay, we actually drop. We are currently here. So the structure, you can see it's similar to the DXY because these are correlated. So exactly 2 moves focused here. Let's go to US dollar chief. As you can see, this is where we were. We drop. And then we are making a move to the upside. So we're looking for this one to continue higher, at least back to around this level for this 3-wave move. Is this the complete reversal? Or we're gonna make one more down before we push higher? Same as the DXY, we're expecting the same thing. US dollar CAD, again here on US dollar pairs. Let's have a look here on the 1 hour. So US dollar CAD, again, we're looking at this move here as a corrective structure. We expected this one to drop slightly here, 1, 2, drop, and then make a move to the upside. We are currently here. We've already broken above the recent high here. We're looking for this one to push higher. That is US dollar CAD. Now, let's go look at the live chart. So this is how this one is played out. So that was the forecast for this one to break lower here and make a move to the upside. How do we know this? Sequence and our indicator tells us that. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Is this the complete reversal? Are we going to get one more down before we make a move to the upside? For now, we're going to look for entry here and then upside. Don't forget the trade of the week, guys. Trade of the week still coming up. All right, so that is US dollar CAD. Now let's look at AUD and New Zealand US dollar. Okay, if you remember AUD, New Zealand, and AUD US dollar and New Zealand US dollar. Last week we had trade setups for downside. Let me go to the 1 hour here so you can see what we looked at last week and how this has played out eventually. So last week we entered a sell setup here, expecting this to continue lower. This only dropped about 40 pips. This was a sell setup. You can check out the video. We dropped only 40 pips, but we made this move to the upside. So what is now happening is simply a 3-wave flat correction. What is the next move? We're still expecting weakness to the downside here, but this is really going sideways. Has not shown anything, but what we'll be looking for is for this one to make a corrective structure and continue lower. So the structure that we'll be looking for is this one, but you don't need to take this one now. You just watch it. So that is AUD US dollar. New Zealand is the same. Let's go back to the 4 hours. So New Zealand also, we took a sell here. We got 49 pips here on New Zealand, dropped here, takes the low and makes a 3-wave corrective structure. Textbook corrective structure, by the way. So that is the structure. We've got a 3-wave move to the downside. We're looking for another 3-wave move to the downside. So that's why we're looking for this one. We already have a trade set up. Currently, we're in the trade here, looking for this one to continue lower on New Zealand. US dollar ZAR, we had a trade set up for upside that did not trigger. Here on our US dollar ZAR, we actually had one on pound ZAR. We're going to look at that when we get to it. So we had a 3-wave pullback. This one breaks out of this structure. Now those who trade breakouts, look what happens here. It makes a move to the upside and comes back to the structure. So US dollar ZAR, we're still going pretty much sideways. It looks like a 3-wave move to the downside here. Looks like we're going to have a bit of a push the upside with the US dollar CAD pushing higher. This may be a 1, 2, 3-wave move to the upside, or rather a pulsing move A, and this one being a B, and we look for upside here. So if you get an entry here on US dollar ZAR, look for short-term upside. Pound yen. Now pound yen, we've already have a setup here for downside after it made this 3-wave move here. Let me just show the structure here so you can see the labeling as well. It's not so clear here. Let's just put it up here. Okay, we'll fix that one up. Okay, but essentially this is supposed to be our wave 5. This is the last move here. That is our wave 5. Let me just go to the one that is completed on the site here. Let's have a look at the yen pace. Let's look at the yen pace. Look at pound yen. Now pound yen, we're looking for this one to make one more bounce to the upside before the drop. We do not get this bounce, instead it's coming down here from current levels without a corrective structure. We may still drop around this level, make this structure here, and drop to the downside. So we'll be watching this structure. It is still sideways, it's not a trigger yet, but from here, this is a setup for downside already. Right, so let's go back to the live pound yen chart. So this is where we are. We've got a move to the downside. We've got this one as a corrective structure. Let me switch off here. That's a corrective structure. Initially, you'll be looking to target this, because then that's going to be a one move to the upside, a pulse move to the upside, and then a pullback here before we make a move to the downside. That is pound yen. US dollar yen. Okay, so US dollar yen, don't forget our trade of the week. So US dollar yen, let's go back to the 4-hour. Let me show you where we were last week and how this one has played out. Last week on US dollar yen, we were here. We had this corrective structure here. We said this was going to drop here, take the low here, and bounce up. That is exactly what has happened. Now it's making a 3-wave corrective structure. Is this going to be a running flat and we continue low? We continue lower with the rest of the yen pairs. So let's have a look at that. So we're going to be waiting for confirmation for downside here. It may push slightly higher here, make an expanding flat, but overall we're looking for this one to push lower. With the US dollar pairs with the US dollar showing a bit of strength, we may see this one pushing a little bit higher. Then we see the drop. That is US dollar yen. Euro yen. Euro yen, structurally, we're looking for this one to make a push to the upside like this, but our indicator is not showing otherwise. It looks like this is a 3-wave move. If that is a 3-wave move, we've got a lower degree here. That is 1, 2, 3. Pull back here, and we're looking for this one to make another 1, 2, 3. So euro yen may just continue dropping without even a push to the upside. Naturally, if you trade pulsing move and a correction, like if you trade a pulsing move and a correction like this, you would expect this to be a pulsing move, a correction, and then an upside. But our indicator is not showing that. It's showing us that this is going to continue to the downside for a simple WXY combination structure, combination of 2 zigzags, simple as that, looking for continuation to the downside. Okay, so need to time the market correctly there. So Chief yen, we've got a 3-wave move. We're looking at this one as a 3-wave here last week. This one drops, but it changes the structure. It goes even more sideways. It doesn't drop. And when it goes sideways, it's just showing us that that corrective structure was still in play. We now make a running flat. After the running flat, we're seeing this pulsing move to the downside. Now, this is a corrective structure. We're looking for this one to continue lower. Okay, looking for this one to continue lower on Chief yen. CAD yen. CAD yen, we're already up on a trade setup here. This is the trade setup that we're in here. We saw this 3-wave pullback last week, 2 weeks back, expecting it to continue lower. Now, this may just give us this structure. Downside is not so convincing anymore. We may just get this one here, 1, 2, 3 up, bounce up here, and then drop. So what we're going to have here is an A. It's a pulsing move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Corrective structure, ABC here, ABC, and then we'll look for this one to continue lower. So CAD yen may bounce from current level. Watch out for CAD yen to give us the structure or a pulsing one. AUD yen. AUD yen, we're looking for this one. It's going to go sideways just like AUD US dollar. We've got 1, 2, 3. Looks like a running flat so far. It may actually be a triangle like this. So we'll be looking for this one to continue lower, but it's going sideways. As you can see, we've started with the impulsive move to the downside. Let's show that impulse. This is our impulse. This is a corrective triangle, maybe a triangle, maybe not, but for now we're looking at it as a triangle. Then we'll be looking for this one to continue lower. That is AUD yen. New Zealand yen, similar. New Zealand yen is also similar, but it's not showing a clear triangle so far. This one, it looks like a channel like that. So let's have a look. Maybe still be a triangle, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll be 5, and then we'll be looking for this one to continue lower. Pulsing move, corrective structure, and we're gonna have this one as an A, B, C structure. So we're still here. We may still see a bit of a push to the upside. Whichever way that's going to complete this move, and then upside, then we're going to be looking for downside there. That is New Zealand yen. Gold. Now, this is our trade of the week, guys. Trade of the week, gold. We'll be looking to buy gold when the market opens on Monday, or rather during the London or the New York session. So it looks a little bit too obvious for now to take gold. So what I'm thinking will happen here, maybe a bit of a pullback here on gold, and then continuation to the upside. This is our trade of the week. We'll be looking for gold to push higher. We're looking for this move to the upside. Now let's go to the website so you can see the exact structure on gold and what we're looking at there. Okay, so let's have a look. Gold is our trade of the week. Let's go to commodities. Let's look at commodities, and we look at gold. Let's look at both the 1 hour and the 4 hour. Now, gold, where we are now, you can see the forecast was this. This is going to pull back, and we're going to get a setup for upside. Now, we've got now the pullback has played out. Now we're looking for this move to the upside. Now, remember, the market does not move in a straight line. Take the trade, make a move to the upside. We're going to be looking for a bit of a deeper one, and then looking for upside. This is the structure that we're looking at on gold. Now, you're only looking at this swing. If you wanted to look at the higher degree structure, we can go to the 4 hour, and this is what members get. So on the 4 hour, you can see that this is the whole swing here. We're looking for the last wave 5 in red. We're looking for this move to continue to the upside. This one does not show the pullback because it's on the 4 hour. Right, and then on let's just have a look here on the daily. See why we're looking at gold the way we are. It's because of this. We're looking for this move leg to complete. This is what you get when you are on when you're a member on the website. You get all time frames. This is the daily, and finally you also get the weekly chart. So with all of this, there is no way you're going to be on the wrong side of the market. You can see that we've been focusing upside here from around 1698 on gold. So we're looking for this one to the upside. We've actually been focusing upside, but looking at this one to be a corrective structure. We changed the view when this one go impulsive. Now that is what we're looking at on gold. All right, so this is a long-term forecaster, and we may be looking at this one to go all the way there, but this corrective structure may still be in play. You can still get this one as a corrective structure, comes back down before it goes. But for now, we're not worried about that. That is our trade setup that is our trade of the week. We're going to be looking for gold to push a little bit higher to complete that wave 5 there. Now, while we're looking for gold to push higher, obviously silver, we'll look for silver to push higher. Now, silver does not have a perfect structure like gold does. So what we're looking at on silver, this may be the start of the wave 1 here, 1, 2, with the corrective structure. We're looking for this one. Indicator on silver is not showing that it's ready, but gold is showing that it's ready. So we're going to be rather taking a trade on gold when it confirms. Okay, so that is silver and gold. Silver, you can see the 3-wave pullback here. We got this one as a pulsing move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we've got this one as a corrective structure, so we look for this one to push higher on silver and gold. Brent crude, we've already looked at this one here. If you check on the side, on the website, on the 1 hour, Brent crude, our update was for this to continue lower here. We've just made a corrective structure now. We're expecting it to come back to this level. We've got this one, 1,000 pips. We saw that during trade setups. Then we're looking at this one as a 3-wave corrective structure. We're looking for this one to come down there. That is Brent crude. That is the structure that we're looking at. 3 waves down, 3 waves up. Is it going to come with an impulse, or is it going to come 3 waves with the 3 waves? So either way, we're going to be looking for this one and then continuation to the upside. Right, so that is Brent crude. Pound chief, I've already shown you this 360 pip trade that we got from right here at the top. 360, we don't see any reversal as yet. We're still looking for continuation. So look out for continuation to the downside there. The structure that you're looking for is similar to what we have on pound US dollar. This looks like a 3-wave move here. Okay, looks like a 3-wave move. It's actually a 5-wave move with a truncated fifth here. It's a 5-wave move with a truncated fifth, as you can see here. That's what we have here. Let me just see here. No, not this one. This one is a pulsing move to the upside, and we were looking for this one to make a 3-wave corrective structure. So this can still be an expanding flat and a reversal. For now, we're not seeing any reversal as yet. So continuation to the downside. To target 1600. We'll make a decision at 1600. Pound Audi, I've already shown you this is continuing to the downside. It's one of those trades where if they don't play out, you're gonna decide that your strategy does not really work, right? So in this case, expecting this one to continue lower. It's coming down slowly, but if you look on the daily on Pound Audi, very interesting on the daily or the weekly. Pound Audi, this is what we're looking at. We looked at this 2-year corrective structure. Is this now finally gonna go for another 1,000 pips to around this level? As you can see, we've been selling this one here, even from here, so this one is gonna continue to the downside. Okay, so we expected a bit of a deeper corrective structure here, but it kept giving us setups for downside. That's why we are 240 pips up on Pound Audi. Pound New Zealand, let's go to Pound New Zealand. Same, Pound New Zealand looking for downside. Okay, looking for continuation to the downside. This is when I was expecting a bit of a deeper pullback. Let's go to the 4-hour. So Pound New Zealand, this was an entry here, 3-wave pullback. I showed you this one during trade setups. We're going to be looking for this one to continue lower. That is Pound New Zealand looking for continuation to the downside. Refer to trade setups. We're still looking for this one to continue lower. 240 pips up here on Pound New Zealand. Pound CAD, I've shown you this one, the entry, and also on trade setups. We've got this one here. We're still looking for continuation to the downside. Even when this was happening, we still held on to the trade. We're looking for this one to continue to the downside. All right, that is a Pound CAD. Even though this can do that, pull back, we're still looking for this one to go all the way down to this level. Pound ZAR, we had a trade setup for Pound ZAR. We were looking for Pound ZAR. We have this trade setup on our channel, which did not trigger the trade setup. We're looking for this one to give us a 3-wave pullback before coming down, but it has changed the structure. We're going to look for this one to at least make a short move to the downside here. Then we're going to evaluate the structure. Right, Euro Pound, I've already shown you Euro Pound hit our stop and went to the direction that we focused it. So we're going to be looking for a new setup here for upside. That is a Euro Pound, Euro Audi. Still looking for downside on Euro Audi. Even if Euro Audi pushes a little bit higher, we're going to look for this one to come down. That is a 3-wave structure that we're going to be looking for here. EURGBP, EURGBP looks like it's pushing a little bit higher, but we're expecting this one to go to the downside because the indicator and the sequence is showing us downside. EUROCHIEF, we've got a trade setup that has not really gone anywhere. Let me just show you quickly that trade setup. I hope I've got it close. EUROCHIEF, let's have a look. It's not close, not opening up here. Let me see if I can find it. Does not seem to be showing. Okay, yeah, I have got it. EUROCHIEF setup has not really gone anywhere. Just put it up here. So you can see EUROCHIEF. So there are some trade setups that I did not show you on trade recaps because they still have not really played out yet. We're in the trade on this one. We're looking for this one to continue lower. We are only up 27 pips. We're still holding for more, up to around 150 here. It's about still about 150 pips that we're expecting to the downside here on EUROCHIEF. So far, it has only moved about 27 pips. Just close here so our screen can be a little bit clear. Okay, so that's what we have so far on the euros. Euro New Zealand, not going anywhere, don't do anything here, still in this corrective structure. We'll evaluate when this one makes a move to the upside. But indicators showing us that this is going to go down from here. It's going to come and continue lower. So if it does that, that means this is a corrective structure in 3 waves. That's the 3 waves there. And we're looking for continuation to the downside. So we're looking for continuation to the downside on Euro New Zealand. Looking at the crosses, AUDJPY, let's have a look here. Showing downside here. at least back to this level, but it's not really much of a trade setup here. We're looking for AUDCAD to push higher out of this structure, but that trade has been invalidated. It's not triggering. AUDCHF, continuation to the downside. Look out for this one to come down to this level. Maybe a bounce from there and then continuation to the downside. AUD New Zealand. AUD New Zealand has made this pulsing move, has made this three-wave corrective structure last week, so we're going to be looking to trade this to the downside. There's an entry here. We're going to be looking for this one to continue to the downside. That is AUD New Zealand. New Zealand CAD similar to New Zealand CHF. It's not really going anywhere. It's just going sideways. Nothing to do there. No setup. New Zealand CHF, we've got a setup here on New Zealand CHF for downside, but that setup may only get to this level. So we'll evaluate when you get to this level, because from there we may get a three-wave pullback and we get a flat correction like that. CADCHF, we've got a trade setup that is up 62 pips there. Just have a look here. Just have a look on this one here. CADCHF, I want to show you the setup. We're currently in the trade, but don't go and take the trade because it will be too late to take it now. Let's have a look. That is CADCHF, 1 hour sell setup, up 62 pips so far. You can just go compare to the current chart. So this is a setup on CADCHF. We're looking at this, a corrective structure. We're looking for the drop here. We are already 62 pips. This is the live chart on CADCHF. That is a setup there. As you can see, three-wave pullback, 1, 2, 3. Here's an entry here. Textbook entry, although it's going down slowly. So we'll evaluate when you get to this level, because at that level, you may just get this as a three-wave structure. Right. And then you're going to have one, and then you're going to have this one coming down like that. Okay, so lastly, the indices, simple analysis on the indices. I'm just going to go to the side so you can see what we're focusing on the indices. Let's have a look here. Let's go to the indices. Start with the S&P 500. Somebody's posting something on the chat box. Right, so S&P 500, I'm going to only look at the 1 hour charts. We're simply looking for three-wave structures here. 1, 2, 3. Right, so this may even be 1, 2, 3. The B can be a flat, and then we make a move to the downside. I've only focused at the lower degree here. We're just looking for the next immediate move on the 1 hour, and all of them are similar in structure. So this is the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ has got a similar structure. We're simply looking for three-wave pullbacks on all the indices. Looking for this one to come down like that. That is the NASDAQ. Look for continuation to the downside just to make that small corrective structures. The Dow, also same as the S&P 500, we're looking for this one to come down, may break lower and go like that, or it can go sideways first before dropping. So we're looking for that. That is the Dow. UK 100. So UK 100, the same. We're looking for this one to make three-wave move to the downside. Let's just look here at what that looks like right now on the UK 100. The rest of the structures have not really moved much since that focus. So this is where we were focusing that downside here. So UK 100 may still continue lower and make that structure that we're focusing on all the indices. This only the 1 hour time frames. The rest of the time frames are also available. The DAX. Now the DAX, when we were here, we were focusing that it was going to go and retest the top here. Did not happen, even though we had a slight break here to the upside. So you can see that that did not go anywhere. Right, so there was no confirmation for upside here. Then we're looking for this one to come down like that. So that is a three-wave structure. We're looking for continuation to the downside, at least back to this level. That is the DAX. And lastly, the Nikkei. Nikkei, we expected this one to push higher and then come down. We actually changed the view here. This actually became impulsive. Let's have a look at the current chart on the Nikkei. Just 1 second. So let's go back to the site here. We were looking at the DAX and the Nikkei. So that is the Nikkei. We changed the view here to be an impulsive move. Now we're looking for a move to the downside here. The three-wave pullback, let's have a look at what it looks like on the Nikkei. Let's go to the Nikkei. So that is the Nikkei. Makes a pulsing move, makes a corrective move. Is this going to drop like the rest of the indices? We're going to be looking for this. So that is the structure that we're going to be looking at here and looking for a move to the upside. So this one is impulsive. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's what we're going to be looking at on the Nikkei. Lastly is the Nifty. So the Nifty, remember there's a trade setup here from around this level. And the Nifty looks to be the only index of the ones that we're looking at here that will still push to the upside and to reach our target at that level. And finally, the Sun Pharmaceutical stock that we identified an entry here is just going sideways now after taking the top here. So we've got this one here, can just come back down here and give us this three-wave structure. So after the three-wave structure, we'll expect a resumption of the move to the upside. Right, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, like, and share. You can even comment on the video. We'll respond as much as we can. Have a great week. Trade responsibly. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye. Don't forget Crypto Corner coming up next.